through the presentation about kind of the business analyst role here. So the qualities of a successful business analyst. Becky?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind. Thanks. Carrie asked you a minute ago how many are practicing business analysts. Saw most of the hands go up in the room. How many have been on large or major projects in the past as a business analyst? Okay, so you know a lot. How many are going to be on a major project in the coming year and a half or so? Okay, so some more projects coming on. When the board was thinking about what sessions we wanted to include in the project management forum, we could not neglect the importance of the business analyst. And Carrie and Nellie have talked a little bit about that already, but I'm going to speak from the heart now because I became an accidental business analyst when I joined the state back in 1982. I was hired to do program reviews at colleges, and I was really a program expert. I learned the student loan program. I learned how to do reviews of how schools did their performance in the student loan program. And then one day, some consultants in our organization decided that we should have a brand new student loan delivery system. So lo and behold, I became a business analyst. Well, I really wasn't a business analyst. I was a SME. And I think a lot of people start their career as a business analyst by really being SMEs. The neat thing is today there's a lot more information and tools and skills that are clearer now so that people can become professional business analysts, because that's really what the state needs today to deliver successful projects. But it was a long slog, and I had to kind of learn as I went in order to contribute in a successful way, or a meaningful way, to our major project. By the way, we eventually did build that system, and it was a success, but it was very painful. We made a whole lot of mistakes in those, it was really the 90s when we built that system, and we were one of the newspaper headline projects at the time, but we actually did implement it, and it actually did perform for many years quite successfully. So but I'm grateful that things are more structured today, more tools and more skills. And what my colleagues and I are going to talk about a little bit is the qualities of business analysts. We're going to talk about what the role the business analyst plays. That's what Karen's going to talk about. Anne's going to talk about what skills and tools that business analysts can have available to them. This is just scratching the surface, mind you. You guys already know a lot of this stuff, but it's kind of a reminder and things that you can leverage as you teach the new ones coming up to be business analysts. But I want to talk about the qualities because it's who you are, not necessarily what you know, that can make a difference. And that's not that I'm super proud of everything that I am, but I did find that just by force of interest and maintaining certain qualities and going through, I was able to survive. And then I found that I was able to add value, not because I knew stuff, but because I was willing to be something to the team. Because every project, like every organization, has a culture. And the project might have a culture of drive and metrics and performance, and everybody's got a role, boom, boom, boom. But there's always going to be challenges, and if there's a sense of camaraderie and teamwork and shared purpose and vision of what it looks like when it's perfect on the other side, that can help you get through the rough times. So I decided to put down a few of the bullets that I think are important for the qualities of a successful business analyst. And first and foremost, the business analyst is the person who understands what's needed when the project is done. What's needed for the program and the business goals, and what's needed by the customers or the stakeholders. Now, of course, you have a project sponsor and project managers, and they all have this role, but in the details and decisions that have to be made as you go through the tricky times and the choice times of a project, that business analyst makes the difference and says, well, we could go this way or we could go that way, but this way is what's needed, because they know what the customers need or what the program needs. A good business analyst, and this is where the SME problem becomes, has to be overcome. A good business analyst knows or is interested in the new solutions. and they're capable of understanding the new solution values, or the value of the new solution. So a lot of times SMEs say, well, this is the way we've always done it, we do it this way. Regulations say this, this, and this, we got to do it that way. Well, regulations usually say what, but they don't say how. And a project and technology is going to provide different how ways to do what needs to be done. So a business analyst has to be interested in that. How can we do it differently that'll be more efficient, more accurate, more customer-centric? A business analyst can make all the difference in the world on a project if they are passionate about good teamwork. They care about everybody's success because they know that if everybody's successful and the project's successful, then something wonderful happens and something wonderful has been done. So it's, it's not the individual attachment to the specific requirements or attachment to the ideas of an individual. It's more about how can we as a team succeed, because projects truly require a large number of people to come together and bring their expertise and bring their responsibilities to get it done. Here's an interesting one that I've found is kind of helpful, and I've had my own struggles with it from time to time, and that is being self-confident but not being self-conscious. Being self-confident includes that you're capable of letting other people bring new ideas and they're okay to hear them, or they're okay to change your mind or to change your position on things. Being self-confident means you know that you know when it's right, or you know that you know when it'll be healthy or work for people. So you don't have to be strong-willed, you don't have to be fighting with people all the time, but you can say, oh, that's a good idea. That's a certain amount of self-confidence. And self-consciousness on the other side is that a lot of times you're in a meeting and you think, well, I can't speak up because look, that person, they know everything. Or you get a little too concerned about how you will appear to other people in the course of dealing with issues. And so you're self-conscious and then you hold back and you don't contribute in the way that you should. So if you can realize that the role you're playing is very important, the insights that you have are really critical, and contribute in a way that allows those best ideas to come out. A successful business analyst also understands the importance of expressing gratitude and celebrating success. Because all of the people in the IT organization or the project management organization, they're building something for a business purpose. And the business analyst is the closest person to the end result that they have at any point in time in the life cycle. And if the business analyst can say, that's a great idea, or that's a wonderful solution, or look how fabulous that's working, wow, and can bring that enthusiasm and bringing that teamwork, it's very encouraging to the rest of the team. And then when problems have to be solved, and the rest of the team sees that the business analyst is a cheerleader for what's good, then they want to contribute and meet those needs. So that who you are can make a difference when you're a person who, instead of criticizing, or the first time you see something up on the board, you say, well, this is what's wrong with this, and this is what's wrong with that. Because that kind of tends to be a fallback position that people have. If instead you look at what's on the board and say, well, this would provide an interesting solution, or that might be good. You can still work in the conversation, the corrective things that you need to say, but you come out of the gate with the sense of, these people are trying to do their best, and they're working hard for this project, and I think we're going to be successful. In fact, I'm seeing us be successful. That can make a big difference culturally. I like to say about the third bullet here is that you stand on the balls of your feet. You got to be adaptive to change, because you think that it's going to go in a certain way. Maybe you've anticipated a certain approach to a technical solution, and it ends up it's not going to work like that, and something has to change. So if the business analyst can say, oh, well, that's a different way to do it, but customers will be okay with that, we'll just have to educate them, or the process that the business is going to have to employ will be slightly different, but it'll work, then be adaptive to change. Help keep the project going. Don't stall it by saying, well, I don't know where we planned it to be. You save those observations for when you're not going to achieve the goal of the project. So you have to be able to discern the difference. Is it the how or is it the what that's at stake? And then great communication skills. If you don't feel like you have great communication skills, practice them. Follow, mentor, get somebody who's really good at communicating and kind of mentor them, observe how they do it, because business analysts have to be the ones to convey to the team the information that the team needs. And don't ramble a lot, don't go on and on like I'm doing right now. Just pick the points that you have to make. I had a good friend one time in college, and everybody thought he was the wisest guy in the world. And it was because he never said anything. But once in a while, he would say something, and he would be right on point. He didn't need to, be arguing with anybody or giving his own opinion if other opinions were equally, useful. But when it came time to say something, he'd say it. So great communication skills mean you're listening very carefully, you're following the course of the conversation, and then at the right moment, you say what needs to be said, but you give other people room to respond and react, and you're clear. So I think that was the end of my slides. Those are my thoughts on who you are as a business analyst. So Karen.
Do you guys have anything you want to add to the qualities before we
Yeah.
move on?
Can I?
Sure. Yeah.
Because what I'm hearing from you is, in my mind, also a successful project manager.
Yeah.
They have to be able to do all these things.
Yeah.
So so the role is the same.
Yeah, the distinction I'd make between the business analyst and the project manager is that the business analyst is really focusing on the part of the project that's going to meet the business results, the need of the business. The project manager is focused on making sure the project moves along and stays healthy. They've got to factor in the scope and the deliverables ultimately, but also the time and the money and other aspects. But you're right, a lot of it does overlap, and ideally you have very strong compatibility between the business analyst and the project manager. Absolutely, and at BCSS, when we're working on smaller kinds of M&O projects, we always have a business analyst and a technical analyst that work together on the project management of the smaller project, because they need to be in sync. Where the technical analyst is going to say, will this solution be workable? The business analyst is answering the question, will it work for the business? Yeah, good point.